Hey, today I'm talking about acid and base nomenclature. And to me, that's really important to understand because whether you're on a test or you're dealing with chemicals in a lab, it's important to know exactly what you're dealing with because at the least worst outcome, you're going to get a bad grade on a test. But at a pretty severe outcome of not knowing what acid or a base name means, you might actually accidentally hurt yourself. So let's get into that. So in terms of naming acids, we can see that the names of acids are derived from the name of the anion that is produced when they dissociate. So remember that acids either can completely ionize or partially ionize, and that's kind of what keeps them from being a strong acid or a weak acid. Both of them are electrolytes. And if you remember, the term anion means negative. And I kind of think like anion, onion. Onions don't smell very good. It's kind of a negative smell. So we can see here with HCl, that'll become H plus and Cl negative chloride. So when we have that IDE suffix, we're going to call it hydrochloric acid. So HCl is hydrochloric acid. In the same sense, acids that dissociate into ions with the suffix ate and with blankic acid. So you can see here phosphoric acid, its anion that's here is phosphate, which we can see is here. Acids that dissociate into ions with the suffix ite, such as sulfite, would be called blankic acid, and we can see here that that creates sulfurous acid. So basically, the naming acids is pretty simple as long as you know the rules. But if you don't know the rules, you're in danger of hurting yourself, like I said, or maybe getting a bad grade. So let's go on to bases. So what about bases? Well, let's name the cation first. And remember, cations are positive. So if it has an invariant charge, such as aluminum, which has a +3 charge, you do not have to have as the Roman numeral, which you would have to do if it was like a transition metal. Copper is a great example. You could have copper hydroxide here, and it could just be one hydroxide and you would make it a 1 right here. But since it's 2 hydroxide, we're going to make that 2, and we're going to make it apparent here when we name it. So we're going to call it copper 2 hydroxide. If you're like, well, how do I know that this is hydroxide? How do I know that this is hypochlorite, or this is carbonate, or this is phosphate? If you have no idea what these are, it's very important to learn those. But if you're kind of questioning it, I have a really good guide for you. So let's go.
So you want to learn acids and conjugates too? Maybe some bases. Hey man, that's really cool. Just make sure that before you try, you take this knowledge supply. Are you in chemistry, scratching all your hairs, trying to learn all these atomic pairs? Just take a seat in your good old armchair and we'll teach you. Hydroxide, ammonium, nitrate. When you know it all, you're gonna feel great. Nitrite, chlorate, chloride. Once you know all these, it's gonna be alright. Hydrogen, sulfate, sulfite. It's gonna be alright. You know, cyanide, cause it's gonna kill ya. Acetate, carbonate, hydrogen, phosphate, and then there's friendly neighborhood hydrogen carbonate. And please don't forget the all-important phosphate. 3, 2, 1. Music break. Hydrogen, phosphate, phosphide 2. Let's add perchlorate to the Q. Hypochlorite makes things smell brand new. Hydrogen sulfates are last through. Let's go. 3, 2, 1. Optional book work. Hey man, that wasn't so bad. Learning polyatomic ions is that get on your feet and get your neighbor too. You better listen to the song when time through.
Oh man, what just happened? Oh yeah, the song. Yeah, this was a last minute thing, you know. If there's one thing you can take away from that, is that these guys are important and you need to know them. If you want to know anything about acids, conjugate bases, these are all really important to know. Like I emphasized in the beginning, you can hurt yourself if you don't know them. And why would you want to get a bad test grade if all you need to know are these 20 different things? So with that, have a good day, and I hope you enjoy my video.